Hello students. So today we are going to see how to execute a small blockchain program using Remix IDE. So Remix IDE is an online based IDE that is used to execute the code. So you have to just type Remix IDE online. So this is how your Remix IDE will look like. So Remix is a browser-based IDE that powers the W3 ecosystem, free to use, zero setup, ready in seconds, likewise. Okay, so launch the app. So first we are going to open the Remix IDE and then I have written a small, today we are going to do an attendance marking system. We have written a small code for attendance marking system. We will, Remix ID is where you can type the code. Basically called as your solidity, where we type the program and then we can execute and deploy here in this Remix ID and check. So once we open Remix, this is how the platform will look like for you. So here we can create a new workspace and then start coding. There is also a start learning. So if you click on this, you will be able to, so it will ask whether you are a beginner, intermediate level and advanced level. So based on that, you will be able to learn Remix. So left side you have various icons. So the first icon is your Remix AI assistant if you want. Then you have a file explorer. Then search. Then this is your compiler. So after writing the code, basically we'll be using the Solidity compiler. Then after compiling, we have to deploy it, right? So then we will be deploying and run the transactions. So this is a debugger. Then we have the Solidity unit testing. Then we have the Git. Then we have learned ETH. So the start learning is here also. Learn ETH, and then we have the contract verification, then guides, and then we have the plan of credit, then we have the plugin manager. Okay, so first, what we are going to do is we are going to click on the file explorer, and then you can just create this new file, new folder, workspace. If you want, you can create. If you want, you can also import files from IPFS, import from file HTTPS. So I have already created an attendance marking system, and I have created this file name called attendance.sol is basically where I have written the attendance marking system code. So this is a small code where there will be a teacher. The teacher will be the only person who will be marking the attendance. So if there is a student, so we have to check whether the student I will just walk you through this code. So first we have to type the command called pragma solidity greater than, we can use any compiler version. So here I have mentioned as 0.8.20. Then this is the contract called attendance system, and I have created a teacher. So teacher, I have created a constructor where teacher is the message sender because only the teacher can perform this action. Then I have created a struct student where you have to create an ID name, how many classes a student attended, what is the attendant classes, and if they have attended, we'll be marking the attendance. Then bool registered. So then we are mapping ID with the students. Then an event is created when student registered and attendance mark. So there is a new function called register student where we'll be entering the ID and the name, and only the teacher can do it. So if the student is already not, if it's already there, you'll get a student already exists. So otherwise you'll mark the ID name, total classes, attended classes and registered. If he has registered means true. And then the next function is called as your mark attendance. If you type an ID, if the ID is not there, you'll say student not found. And if the ID is there, you will increase the attendance will be marked, and the total classes will also be increased, and the students who attended also, that number also will be increased. Then the next function is called as a view student details. So first is function is get the student. So if I want to get a particular student detail, I will just type the ID. Okay. Then it should display the student information. And if the ID, if I type the ID, if the student is not there, If I have typed some ID which is not there, it should say student not found. Otherwise, if it is there, it should display the name, total classes, and attendant classes. Then the next function I have created here is to calculate the attendance percentage. Okay, so for a student, we are going to calculate the attendance percentage based on how many classes he has attended into 100 divided by the total classes conducted. Okay, then there is another function called get all student, so I can view all the student details at one go. So this is a very simple program, so let us see how to run this program. So first, before running any program, you need to compile. So here left side there is a solidity compiler. You just need to click on the solidity compiler. So if you compile, so here it is telling the various compiler versions that are available, and you can this all default it will choose. There is an auto compile that is being selected, so it will pull the file name attendance.sol. Okay, so if you just click this, it has got compiled now. If there is any error, it will throw you the error, so you can just troubleshoot the error and you can fix it up. Okay, so the next one is deploy and run the transactions. So when I click this, here you can say it is setting the environment. Okay, so here by default there will be many environments like browser extension means if you want to run it using MetaMask, you can go for this. Generally, we are in the Remix VM. If you want to fork also, we can go for VM fork, dev, base, wallet connect, custom external provider. So likewise here also, there's a Remix VMware. So there are here also there are various flavors are there. So by default, it is in Osaka. You can also run it in Prague, Cancun, Shanghai, Paris, London, Berlin, etc. Okay. So once when you deploy the contract, here this Remix ID will give you 15 accounts. So if you click here, so you will get 15 accounts, all having 100 ethers. So ethers is nothing but it is a native cryptocurrency of the Ethereum blockchain. So whenever we want to execute any code or we want to deploy any contract, we need to spend some amount of gas to execute it. Okay. Since we have compiled it, it will automatically pull the attendance system compile and it will say it is in Remix VM Osaka. So there is a value gas limit, it's all default is there. So now we have to click deploy. Okay, so I have not yet clicked the deploy. So once I click deploy, here you can see right hand side only we'll be getting all the outputs. So if you click the deploy, here you can see our contract got deployed successfully. So it is saying one transaction is mined and executed, execution completed. So this is the transaction hash, this is the block hash. So this is the first, since this is the first block, it is saying block number 1. And it is saying the contract address. And here you can see the from address. From address is nothing but the account 1. So here you can see 0x5b. So this is 0x5b. So from account will be linked here. And 2 is basically this attendance. So it is telling what is the transaction cost, execution cost, and this is the output. So here if you look at the output, here you can see our contract has been deployed, so there is an attendance system, and here we have written the code here, right? So all that will be stored in these functions. So if you click on this, so here you can see there is only one transaction. So what we have done, so we have created deployed 1 minute ago. Okay, so as and when we execute, we'll see the transactions are being added here. Okay, so let us get into the functions, the code that we have written. So for the code that we have written, so we have created various functions like mark attendance, register student, attendance percentage, get all students, uh, get student, then student ID, student, and then finally we have put a teacher. So if you look at this, all the functions, this functions which are in orange color is where you take the input, and all these blue color functions are there, no, so they are only calling functions, they will just display once we enter the data. So first, before marking the attendance, we have to register the student. So first we have to click the register student, and then it will be able to take the inputs. So register student, See here. So if you look at the registered student, so it is asking the ID and then the name. So let us say I want to create three users. So first my student is 100. The name is Alice. So if you just give transact, so this data has been added to the blockchain, and here you can see it is added as a block number 2. Okay, so all the previous stuff will be the same. You have a status, transaction hash, block hash, from address. So likewise you can add. So next is student, if you want to add 101, let me say I want to add Bob. Just you can add Bob and do the transact. Okay, so here also this is one more transaction that is added. So here you can see it is a block number 3. I'm going to add one more user called 102, and let me put it as Darth. Okay, then you can give transact. So now you can see we have added one more user. So these are the log details of that. Okay, so now we have registered 3 users. The next is you want to mark the attendance. So let us go to the function again. Mark the attendance. So here it is saying for the ID whether you have to say whether it's present or not. So let us say 100. I'm saying attendance is 0. Transact. So we have one more transaction here. And then let me put 101. I'm putting it to be present. 102. I'm marking present. So for 102, one more present. 102, one more present. So I'm giving 3 um, attendance for a particular student. So now I have, since I have entered the attendance, now let us check a few details. Now let us go to teacher. So who's a teacher? So it's a calling function. Since we are not entering any value, so it is just pulling. So teacher is nothing but from which ID the contract is being deployed. So here you can see a cost only applies when called by a contract. Okay. So since the teacher is a person who is executing, so here you can see um, the from address the is what you see here. So there will be no hashing, etc. Okay. So next one. Let us go to the next function, students. Okay, before that, let us go to, so first we'll go to get all students. Attendance percentage we'll see. Get all students. So if I say call, so here you can see it is listing all the students. 100, 101, 102. These are the registered numbers of the students, right? So here you can see there is a call function again. So here you can see cost applies only when called by a contract. Only when we are trying to enter some value, there will be some cost. Otherwise, you'll just have a from address to address, the execution cost, input, what will be the output, and then you'll have the decoded input, decoded output, and there will be some logs. Okay, now let us go to the next function, get student. So if I want to get only one student information, let us say for 100, if you just type, so it will say Alice, the name is Alice. He has marked one present, one absent. Okay, let us see if I want to check 101 details. It is saying Bob, so 1%, 2% he has got. Okay, so if you want to check for 102, call. So dark means I have given 3 attendance. Okay, 3% I have entered. So here you can see as and when we execute, there are a lot of transactions that are being added. Okay, so I will show the transactions lastly. So student IDs, I think it already showed. So it will show student ID means, for example, 100. It will show the name is Alice. The total classes is 1. He did not attend any classes 0. So registered is true. Okay. Likewise, you can go and check each and every student. Student IDs we saw. So student IDs, let us put 101 and call and say. So it is giving some error. So now let us see if I'm able to check the attendance percentage. So attendance percentage, let me see for 100. So it is saying 0 because he was absent, right? So Alice did not attend any class, so it is having 0 percentage. Let us see for 101. So for 101, it is 100%. Let us see for 102. 102 also it is 100%. So here you can just check. Okay, 102 also it's 100 percentage. So now here if you click on this transactions, here you can see the various transactions. So these calling functions, it will not be considered as a transaction. Like first we have deployed the constructor. So then we have done some transaction, registered the 3 students we have registered, marked the attendance. So this is where the blocks will be created. For just displaying, there will be no blocks created. Okay, so it is a pretty simple program. So I think you understood the concept of how to write the remix code, how to compile, how to deploy, and how to check. So previously here you can see. So after doing all these transactions, so initially it was having 100 ethers. Now after this execution, you can see there is a few ethers that are being reduced here. So likewise, you can write any program using this remix IDE and you can just run it and execute by yourself. So next, I'm in the next video, I will show you how to connect to MetaMask. So previously, I used to connect to MetaMask, but I think now there is no balance there. So once I have done with that, I will show you how to run the same code using MetaMask. So MetaMask is like you have a separate wallet where once you execute the code, like how it is getting deducted here from the MetaMask wallet, you will be able to see the amount is getting deducted and you will be able to do the transactions and it will be shown. Okay, I think hope you understood. So next, the upcoming classes we see Ganache blockchain also. So I will show you the demo in my consecutive videos. Thank you for watching. I hope you have got some basic idea of how to write the code in Remix IDE, how to compile and deploy it. Thank you.